Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard another day of building EB. Well, it was sunny out here a minute ago. As you can see, there's a kids' party going on in the background, and got a visitor moored up just in front of me. Apologies for the absence. No good excuses, but you know. Anyway, this is me putting the bathroom ceiling up, and yeah, that's about it. So I did have this piece up before I put the toilet flue in, but now I've obviously got to cut around the toilet flue. And there's a big cold bridge there, so we'll start by getting some spray foam around that. You know what I'm like about the cold bridges. Obviously this is the bathroom, so particularly important to make sure there aren't condensation points. The other end of this board wouldn't go up again because the shower wall is now up, so that's obviously just made it, I guess, about half an inch, maybe a bit less, shorter than it was. So with that chopped off, obviously still moving things around at this point, and I'm not living on the boat while this is going on. I got the bathroom working before I left the marina, but there I was just kind of thinking about whether I was definitely cutting this correctly because it's upside down and what have you, making sure that I was cutting the right bit out. As you know, I have been prone to getting that wrong on a few occasions, but this was painless, and I got it right, fortunately enough. Just had to when you use the track saw, then it doesn't quite get to the end, obviously, so you're just using a chisel just to square up the actual corner. As you can see, that goes in nicely. A little bit of silicone sealer to hold it up. You've got to have something there, and on my ceiling design, you've seen it on other videos. I'll try and put a link to some ceiling correction making stuff going on. Then I just use my my props to kind of hold it all up whilst it's drying. Make sure it's particularly at the ends, then it's obviously good to hold it up and not let it droop down. It's held up in the middle by the light fitting itself, but yeah, there's a bit of adjustment of cables and things, and well, the spray foam at the edge of the boat, up the tumble home or into the ceiling, depending on your point of view, just needs a bit of crushing back to allow this to go in over the wall carriers and then drop down once it's in. I really didn't like, as you know, I don't like measuring things and then having to cut them and whatever, but fortunately this was this was in the right place. But I needed to cut out the tabs for you can see the way that it fits. I could actually have made the complete hole that much bigger, but that meant that if I did that, then that gave me less opportunity to get the hole in the wrong place by a millimetre or two. So yeah, just making sure that I work within my own limitations, or trying to anyway. This is a piece that will just sort of line the outflow, or where the extractor fan goes, just deburring after having cut it, to guide any moisture that, any air with moisture in it. Then I don't want that getting to the roof of the boat, which is obviously steel. It is painted and what have you, but I just want to make sure that I do as good a job as I can, make sure that it all goes where I want it to go. So I've siliconed it in place, just putting a support in there whilst it goes off the silicone, and making sure that it's kind of top and bottom is all completely sort of sealed as best I can. Now I've got to cut a little nibble out of the corner of this roof because a bit of it overlaps the crossways shower wall that goes across the boat. So just use that was where I noticed I put this cut out on the wrong place. This is upside down, so I just decided to cut it off straight, because at that point in time then it would just end up with a little bit sticking out in the middle. That would have been annoying and looked silly. So these bits that I've put up into the ceiling, they are all the way along the boat now, where they need to be. There's one next to each emergency light and at the end of each board. So this side panel, obviously having done the bit of work to kind of fettle the insulation at the side, then that went up relatively easily. Get the cable out of the way, get this up. It was a little troubling. As you can see, I've got Mike with me. and yeah, it wasn't happening. And I said, look, well, we will do it the way that I know will work. And we'd done it in the bedroom. I just kind of pushed the channels out to make sure that they were letting us get it in upside down. And Mike, as you can see, a little concerned about me popping it up, but there's super slow motion. If you want to replay that, then it just kind of pops up. Then it just becomes a question of getting the cables through and hooking up the extractor fan, which is just, as I say, just a little jiggery pokery getting these cables out for the light and the extractor fan. I'm putting a bit of draft excluder on this just to make sure that it seals into that ducting that I put in there. I say ducting, bit of tube, and then it's just a question of doing up the clips to hold everything in place, or hold these onto. This is just holding the extractor fan into the ceiling. And there's a cover that goes on, and here's the last emergency light. I didn't bother. I did put a little screw in there. I think it's unnecessary given that it popped into place, but being in the bathroom, then any moisture and things while the board's drying out will help it be in the right place. Well, I noticed as I was editing this up that the bathroom ceiling is down again for putting in solar stuff, but I just thought I'd show you this is what I did wrong. So I meant to cut out this sort of 2/3 over that side, and I cut out only this little section here. But it doesn't make it, well, the ceiling will be back up again in due course, and it doesn't really notice. I think I'll figure something out to cover up the bit that's missing. But anyway, this was that. So I will try and get another video up to show you more of the stuff that I did ages ago. Until then, have fun, take care.